Now, I know there's a delay, but it'll work out because I'll just match up the claps. So on the count of 3, we're going to do our best to clap together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Wow, that's a good delay. Welcome to After the Final Pour, brought to you by The Malting Hour. I'm one of your hosts, Tony Golick, joined always with
Brandon Winninger.
And it's Friday night. It's Friday night for us. Yeah, Brandon, this is something we haven't done in a while. You and I being in... What did you just take a sip of? What was that? What were you drinking? I want to see. O'Shea's Hoppy Lager. Is that from the Aldi Christmas thing?
The bottle is, but that's not what's in there.
What did you bottle?
What is actually in there was my pedestrian.
Oh,
I put it in there quite a while ago, and then when you told me that I gave you that the bottle and it was flat,
yeah,
this was in the fridge, so I cracked that open. I've been sipping on that, and I'm like, it's not flat. So
yeah, well, you capped it, right? You put it in a glass bottle, yeah, yeah.
Bottling's the way to go.
I mean, hey, you had technically that's the 10% beer, isn't it? The Belgian triple or 9?
Yeah. Well, I didn't drink all of it. I poured some of it off because it was like,
nice.
It was tasting weird and I thought it was like bad. And then I went back and I was like, okay, maybe I'm off, but yeah.
Could be from the bottle, sitting in the bottle, whatever. That's okay, because before we did this episode, I drank a Revolution Unsessionable. I don't know, it's a double or triple IPA, 100 IBUs, 10%. So, I'm feeling pretty good. For
Friday night. So you don't know what it's labeled as, but I know you said it was 100 IBUs. What was your
shit?
What's your quick review of that?
Man, my review on it.
Was that your first time having it?
No. And by the way, it's just an Imperial IPA. This is my second time having it. It's been a while, I think, since they released it. It's been a long time since I had a Imperial IPA that was 100 IBUs. I remember when I first got into craft beer and home brewing, Hop Stupid from Lagunitas was like my go-to beer because you can get a bomber for like $5, and that's like, I don't know, 9%. 100 IBU. Yeah. So I just wanted all the booze, all the hops, and at a cheap price. And it's a delicious beer.
Yeah.
As time has gone on, I've discovered other types of IPAs, hazy IPAs, English IPAs, different styles in general. So I stopped kind of seeking out these type of beers. And when I saw Rev was releasing it again, I got excited. So I decided to buy it and I drank it. And it reminded me that not all IPAs need to be hazy and juicy. I know I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. I love those types of beers, but the next beer I'm going to brew, which hopefully next week or so, I'm going to do a West Coast IPA. So this is just kind of pushing me into that direction. Granted, it is a 10% IPA with 6 different hops in it. What do they have in there? That was Centennial, Cascade, Galaxy, Chinook, Amarillo, and Citra. So we're hitting all the awesome fucking. I love all those hops. I brewed with all those hops, so it's no wonder that I enjoy it. So I hope.
Why couldn't we? Why couldn't we have done that with our hop lottery?
Yeah, no shit. We did a hop lottery. I think we've talked about it on the podcast where in the brew club we so many hops and it turned out to be garbage because we didn't know what we were doing. So, but that's not what we're drinking tonight. Tonight for the After the Final Pour, Brandon, we did a little beer exchange. We're just doing it in separate places tonight because Friday night, we just wanted to be at home. And this is sometimes easier. I don't have to worry about driving home after drinking beers.
That's always a plus.
Drive safe, everybody. You recently, if everyone's following us, people who are following us on social media, recently went to Off Color, and we've drank and talked about Off Color. You know, we drank their beers, and we've talked about Off Color here in Chicago a few times. And Brandon, you picked up some beers, and you even got some bonus beers. But let's talk about what we're drinking tonight.
Tonight, we're drinking one of my favorites from Off Color is their Dino Smores, but not just, or Dino Smores, however you want to say it, but not just the regular Dino Smores. It is the barrel-aged version. So they don't have like a cool description. Well, they do have a little bit of a description on the can, but I do kind of want to read through it. So it's a barrel-aged imperial stout, 11% alcohol, gravity is 23, IBUs 40%. Oh, is it 40? I'm like percent. No. IBUs 40. Malts are pale, Vienna, wheat, Caratu, extra special, flaked oats, dark chocolate, black, and roasted barley. And the only hops they use are Nugget.
Nugget's a good just bittering hop, and I believe that's why they don't make anything like it's not adding any like fruity or other type of flavors. It's kind of like CTZ, Columbus, Tomahawk, Zeus. Those type of hops. Regardless
of the beer from Off Color, whether like I thoroughly enjoy it or I just enjoy it, the thing I love the most is these descriptions, because it gives you the whole grain bill.
Yeah.
And if you were so inclined, you could throw this into some beer app and kind of modify it to try to get what you want for this. But anyway, so the secret ingredients is an extra special layer. It says aged for 2 years in Jim Beam's 6th generation master distiller, Booker Nose Namesake. Booker's batch 2019-02, shiny barrel batch, 6-year bourbon barrels from warehouse D, E, and J. Holy hell, like down to the warehouse. That's awesome.
That's really cool. That's on I believe, if I'm not mistaken, on all their beers, they have a secret ingredients line that kind of gives you a more in-depth description of the beer that you're drinking.
Probably. There may be one or two I've seen before that there's no secret ingredient. It's just, this is what it is. Like,
yeah. So I didn't know that these were aged in Jim Beam barrels. I remember last year they were in, I think I still have the empty bottle back here in my bar, just because I save a couple of, bottles that I think are real cool. I remember this being in a smaller format. I think it was like not a 10 ounce, but it was smaller. You know what I mean?
8-ounce bottle?
It's the same, I think, as the gin beer that you also gave me. It was that, which I liked. It was a small amount, but I wanted more. I wanted more when I drank it. So I'm really happy to see these now in the 12-ounce cans. So that's pretty exciting. I remember drinking it last year, really enjoying it. I've already smelled this and I've tasted it. Have you done the same yet?
Took a smell. I enjoy it. I have not tasted it yet. I'm getting a lot of barrel.
Yeah,
off of this. So
it smells like barrel. I get vanilla. I get like almost
chocolate.
I was gonna say chocolate, like a cocoa.
Yeah.
That vanilla is very marshmallowy, which Dino Smores is. Yeah. That's what it is. It's the regular Dino Smores is basically a s'more stout. And I get a lot of marshmallow and barrel, and I think the barrel actually is bringing out that marshmallow more. It sometimes get lost in certain beers unless you're putting in some, over the top extract. I don't know how they get the marshmallow in there, but this is really good aroma wise. So I'm gonna go into my sip here.
That's one thing that they don't identify on the can.
Super secret ingredient.
Yeah, I'm not mad at them.
I mean, you got to keep some stuff secret.
I remember when this came out at first, and it was like so hard to find.
Yeah,
it was like even the regular version was just like
absolutely
off the shelves.
And it's still, when I do see it on the shelf, there's not many left. It might sit there for a little bit, but it doesn't sit there for very long. And I think a lot of people also just go to the brewery to buy it because they do a release and you can get it, on that Friday or whenever they do it. My first impression of the sip of this is chocolate, bourbon, caramel, marshmallow, vanilla. It's sweet, but there's a nice bitterness, like a dark cocoa. And man, for all the barrel aged beers that we have on this show, and I mean, even for, we've gone through at this point when this comes out, I think the second part of our Bourbon County Build Your Own Media Kit. Dude, this is kind of, this is up there. This is up there for one of the best barrel aged beers I've had in a while. Mainly because I'm tasting everything. It's a lot like, it reminds me of the Odd Side atmosphere and attitude where you can taste everything. As everything's changing, and yours is probably a little bit warmer than the one that I'm drinking. So you might be getting a little bit more. And I feel like it's at the perfect temperature. It's not room temperature. It's cold, but it's not ice cold. And I'm loving this, man. I really am. It's not too strong. I don't even know what the ABV is on here.
11%.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, I didn't expect that. I should have, but this is nice. This is really nice. This is a good barrel aged beer. I think it's really cold in Chicago today, just so you guys know. I don't know when this is coming out, but it's very cold today as we do this in March. But this is a fun beer that you could drink during the summer because it is very reminiscent of just having s'mores.
Yeah. And so the one thing that you didn't note, I'm getting, and I think it's the maltiness at the back end. I think that's kind of complementing that graham cracker esque that they're going for.
Yeah,
and maybe it's because it's a little bit warmer. I don't know, but it
definitely could be. I also have a hard time when I see beers that say there's graham cracker in it. I have a hard time identifying it, so that could just be me.
Well, and didn't we look up like how to add graham cracker flavor into beer, and like there's extract you can buy, and
yes, there's extract and there's certain grains to use, which I think I sent you a message of, and I have it saved somewhere, which we will attempt.
And it may very well be in this extensive grain bill for this beer.
Yeah, actually, you're right. I didn't even think about that. Vienna wheat. And
somehow I feel like Cara 2 was one of those beers, or one of those grains.
I know that Vienna. I talked to a guy at our local homebrew shop, one of our local homebrew shops, Brew and Grow. They had a s'mores porter on tap the last time I went there to pick up grains to brew a beer, and I tried it, and I could taste the graham cracker. It tastes like chocolate, marshmallow, graham cracker. And I think it also, because it was a porter and it wasn't super roasty, I was able to taste everything else they put in there. And I said, how did you get that in there? And he did tell me what grain you use, and you have to use a certain amount. So I'm sure with a little bit of research, we can figure out how to make a beer that we get the graham cracker in. But it'll be interesting to see as this warms up, as we're talking, what I get out of it. I will say that I wish. How many of these did you buy, Brandon?
A 4-pack.
Cool. I want to drink another one with you.
Don't worry, we will.
No, I know. I just we've talked about Off Color a whole bunch, and hopefully one day we can have them talk to Off Color, or we'll just do a full episode dedicated to their beers and just talk about it. Their beers are really good. They're really good. They try new things. They do traditional styles. They just kind of hit the mark every time they do it. I will say that regular Dino Smores I haven't had in a while, I don't think. So I can't speak on that. I do know there was a couple of years where maybe it was just my palate. I didn't really care for the regular Dino Smores. But the coffee Dino S'mores has always been good, and barrel aged Dino S'mores is no exception. It's just, it's rich in a good way. It's not overly sweet, but I do just want to sit here and sip on it. The mouthfeel on it is kind of thick, not too thick, but there's a bit of as we've used numerous times recently, viscousness or viscosity to it.
I guess that goes with the mouthfeel, but yeah,
yes, of course.
It's definitely thicker, and I 100% enjoy that. So when I go for beers, especially a beer that claims to be a s'more stout, I want it to be a thick beer. And I'm going back to September when we had the Gates of Smordor while camping.
I was just gonna reference that. Absolutely.
That and that one 100% nailed everything that we wanted.
It was the perfect camping beer.
Oh yeah.
Was that barrel aged?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm almost positive. And if it's not, I think we talked about how good it would be as a barrel aged beer.
Yeah.
Regardless,
either way, it was an awesome beer.
Yeah, I don't think it was, but it was very good. This beer would be awesome for us to take on maybe another camping trip this summer, if we decide to do so, because I just feel
somewhere not.
I mean, that was a great trip. No, it was a great trip. I loved it. It was a good experience. I want to go back and do that again, but I think this year maybe we'll just go a little bit closer. That drive home with your busted ankle and me falling asleep in the passenger side was no good.
That was the worst 2 weeks after that.
Oh yeah, but we mean the day that we were walking around after you had already hurt your ankle. Yeah. Us walking around and finding all these cool spots, and the place was empty because it was Sunday, starting the day off at a bar. What was it where I became a member of? I have a card
Nielsen's Pub.
Yes, and I took the bitter shot like a champ because it's so good.
And they had New Glarus on tap, I think.
Yeah. Yes, and what was the other brewery that I was really enjoying that had the Pallet Jack? Pale ale.
It's a Wisconsin beer, right? Or Wisconsin brewery?
Yeah. And they're not far from there. And I feel like I should know what it is, but I can't think of it right now. Whatever. That was a great time. And this beer would totally fit in with that type of situation, or sitting in my yard, sitting in your yard.
Just as an FYI, next time if we want to do that, I totally recommend us getting one of those cabins.
Absolutely
doing that.
I don't have to sneak into a cabin for the last night and sleep there and hope I don't get caught, and also not wake up at 2 a.m. on the first night to ask you for your keys to go sleep in your car because
it was Door County Brewing.
Yes.
Pallet Jack Cruiser.
Yes. And that's isn't that a session pale ale or something like that?
Yeah,
a
session IPA. Yeah.
So good. And there's a guy on a Pallet Jack, and my regular job's in the warehouse, so I felt a little connection to that. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, this would be a great beer for that. It's a great beer for a night like tonight. It's nice and chilly. It's a good sipping beer, and I think this beer is gonna sit with me for a little while. I'm not gonna burn through this. A lot of the barrel aged beers that we drink together or separately, I find myself enjoying it so much I go for sip after sip after sip after sip. I'm trying to force myself to just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Let it sit there, let it change. And if it gets too warm for me, there's been times where I've done that before with other beers where I knew I was going to sip on it for a while. I think it was a Bourbon County of some sort. I opened it up, poured a bit in the glass, popped it back in the fridge because I wanted to chill it again, because I didn't want it to get too warm because I knew I was going to spend a lot of time sipping on it. But man, regular Dino Smores is awesome. Barrel aged Dino Smores is awesome. You gave me a coffee Dino Smores as well that if I didn't drink that unsessionable, I'd say let's do another after the final pour, but I'm not going to do that. We'll save. I think I'm going to save that if you're down for us to do another after the final pour with that. Totally. And the other beer, the gin barrel aged beer. So thanks, man. Thanks.
I'm super excited about the gin one. And Tony and I both, we're not huge gin fans, but the gin barrel aged beers, you said that you've enjoyed, and I think the barrel just brings something different.
Our friends over at Lake Effect have had some gin barrel aged beers that I did enjoy. And then I know he's done some other juniper ones and gin. That was a lot, but it was a lot in a good way. Might not be for everybody, but I think gin barrel age beers are kind of fun. And I've talked about it before. My wife has been interested in these gin cocktails called aviations, not the aviation gin, but they're called aviations. There's like creme de la violet, maraschino
I did
cherry.
not buy her aviation gin for Christmas.
There you go. Hey, dude, a side note, she made a couple cocktails last Friday. And when I put the bottle back, when I pulled the bottle out on Friday, the bottle that you guys got us from Maplewood was already half gone. And I was like, what the fuck? Because I thought we didn't go through it. I didn't think she opened it yet.
Yeah.
And apparently we already had opened it and gone through it a couple times. So we're halfway through that big ass bottle of gin. And then I have a humongous bottle of Bombay Sapphire that I bought around Christmas time because it was on sale for our aviation, cocktails. But yeah, I think a gin barrel aged beer is fun. You can do something like a saison, which I'm not sure what this other one is.
It's a wild ale, I think.
Ooh, that's fun. Yeah, it is a wild ale. So I think you can do a lot of stuff with lighter beers. I think a gin, you could even get clever with doing like a gin barrel aged like pale ale. Like you couldn't keep it in there for very long, but
yeah,
if you got a way to get some of that gin in there, that would be nice. But
just slosh it in a barrel and be like, all right, you're done.
Slosh it around, oxidize the shit out of it, and then go ahead and keg it and be like, what did we do? But yeah, man, overall, I would say if I'm gonna give this a rating like we've been doing lately, I guess that is a thing that we're doing. If I'm gonna rate this Dino S'mores barrel aged beer, I'm going straight up 5 on it. 5 out of 5. It's really good. It is hitting everything that I want with what they say it is. And I could drink this, not regularly, but I want to keep going back to it. I want to keep going back to this. And I'm throwing it on my list for the Maltese of 2022, baby.
Nice. And I'm going in the same boat. And I'm also, just because the way we're rating things, I'm going to be very peculiar now about.
You can do like point whatever.
Well, I know. No, but 5 is like where I'm at, because as like the description on here isn't nailing what I'm looking for. And it's telling me what it's going to be. And I'm getting all of that. So,
yeah. It's for anybody out there who likes adjunct stouts, or just, a real good sweet barrel aged stout, or again, it's not overly sweet. There's a sweetness to it.
I wouldn't put this in the category of like a pastry stout. Like it's almost there, but not.
Yeah. And it'd be a great beer in this 12-ounce can format to split with somebody else, because you can split this and then move on to something else. Like if we were together, we'd probably do another after the final pour.
Or 2.
Or 3. Or 4. And then I'd sleep on your couch and open up one of your bourbons.
That's the way to do it.
All right, I'm on my way. We're gonna open it. Oh, that sounds fun. Yeah, man. Overall, it's great. Thank you for sharing this with me. And if you guys are in the Chicagoland area and can get your hands on it, I'm not sure if they still have it at the brewery. We don't have a fact checker with us to look that up, and Brandon and I are too busy enjoying these beers to look it up ourselves. But if you can get it. If you know somebody who has it, ask them to share it with you. If you have it, crack it open. Firm believers of not letting stuff age too long, even though Brandon has years upon years of barrel aged beers that some are still very good. Yeah, man, you got anything else you want to say?
It's just quickly looking. The brewery still does, as of right now, as of this recording.
Yeah, as of this recording, which is March 25th. So it's still there. Go get you guys some. And
coffee.
If you guys get these, crack it open, tag us in it, and let us know what you think, because that would be awesome. And we'd like to know what you guys think. Interactive, social media drinking at the Malting Hour. It's real easy to find us.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. All right, man. I think that's going to be it for this episode.
Yeah, sweet, man.
All right, man.
Take another sip.
I love the delay, because I said, all right, man, as you were saying, I'm going to take another sip. So I can't wait to hear how this all works out. All right, buddy. I love you.
Love you too, man.
Thanks a lot. Cheers, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, Off Color.
This has been The Malting Hour. Be sure to follow us on all social media by searching The Malting Hour and at themaltinghour.com. You can also follow us individually on social media. Brandon can be found on Instagram as BMDub81, on Twitter, BDub81, and on Untapped as BDubDrinksBeer. Tony can be found on Instagram and Untapped under Ace of Help Chicago, on Twitter, The Ace of Help Chicago. Clark can be found as Clarkowski on all three. Dan can be found on Instagram as hip__hops and hip hops on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, like, and rate the show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Until next time, cheers from all of us at The Malting Hour.
Oh, so good. Want to stop recording?